What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Wine Vlog. I am your host, Drew Baker, and tonight we have a very special episode for you, and it was called for by you, the viewer, based on your questions and comments on previous videos. And basically the topic is going to be temperature and wine. At what temperatures should you serve what wines? Now, before we get into the science behind everything, I want to tell you the #1 rule when drinking wine, and that is that you should drink it how you enjoy it most. So if you enjoy drinking your dry red wines chilled, and you enjoy drinking your sweet white wines at room temperature, then that's how you should do it. Don't worry about what the experts and wine snobs tell you. Drink it how it gives you the most pleasure. That being said, there is some method to the madness as to why they say you should drink certain things certain ways, and we're going to get into that. The #1 overall rule, and the rule that I can relate to best, is called the high school beer rule. And basically the high school beer rule states that you should drink crappy beer chilled. Drink it as cold as possible so that you can't taste it. That's how you can get it down the easiest. And this applies very well to wine, actually, in that if you're drinking not the best wine, you should drink it chilled because it will make it more drinkable. But on the other hand, if you're drinking good quality wines that are premium, ultra premium levels, you should drink them at room temperature because this is how you can get the most out of that wine. You'll be able to pick up the scents and the intricacies and the taste, and you'll just be able to enjoy it most and get the most for the money that you paid for that wine. That being said, there is some scientific rules, and the first is called the rate of evaporation. Basically, when you're serving wine at greater than 68 degrees Fahrenheit, evaporation is going to be taking place at a very fast rate, and this is going to inhibit the ability of the drinker to really pick up on the scents and the aromas, the bouquet. Basically, when you're smelling the wine, you're not going to be able to pick it up and smell it as it should be smelled because the evaporation of the wine is going to be taking place at too fast of a rate, at more than ideal. And the same can be said for wine that is served below 46 degrees Fahrenheit. And basically, this is the line at which evaporation is inhibited. So you're really not going to be picking up much scent at all because there's going to be no evaporation. There's not going to be much going on in the wine. So now that we know that, we want to drink all of our wines within that range, greater than 46, less than 68. And the next thing that we want to talk about is called the sweetness complex. And basically what this rule says is that the higher the temperature, the more sensitive our palates are to sweetness. So in other words, we want to serve this is the reason why typically you serve your sweet white wines at cooler temperatures, so that way the sweetness of the wine is less overwhelming and you can still enjoy the wine. On the other end of the spectrum is the bitterness complex. Basically what the bitterness complex says is that at lower temperatures, our palates are more sensitive to bitterness, especially in wine. So this is why we drink our young, robust red wines at room temperature, so that way a lot of the bitterness doesn't really attack our tongues. And so now that we know the whole idea of evaporation, so the nose, and the sweetness and bitterness complex, why we typically drink reds warm and whites chilled, I'm going to go into an actual breakdown, and basically this is just going to go point by point through different types of wines and how you should drink them. And basically what this says is that robust reds, your Cabernet Sauvignons, your Merlots, your really strong red grapes, and especially those that are younger in nature, should be drank at room temperature. And generally speaking, when you're talking about wine, room temperature is considered between 60 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So the next category below your robust reds is your complex dry white wines. And basically you should typically drink these wines, according to the experts, between 55 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is the equivalent to about 15 minutes in the fridge before you serve. And then the next category below that is your soft, light red wines. And typically speaking, you want to serve these wines between 50 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit. That's going to be about 15 to 30 minutes in the refrigerator. before you serve the wine. And wines that are going to go into this category are going to be your more aged red wines, because they're going to be easier to drink, and also the lighter grapes, lighter in nature grapes. And then the last category is going to be your sweet and sparkling whites, as well as your rose-colored wines. Now typically you want to serve these at 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is chilled. You want to leave these in the refrigerator, and that's how they should be best enjoyed at temperature. So the question that I have for you guys today is, what is your favorite type of wine, and at what temperature do you enjoy it? How do you like to drink your wine? What do you like, and how do you like to drink it? So that's all we have for this episode. Please leave your comments and feedback. I love getting that. I'll be sure to respond to all of them. So until next time, be safe, be smart, have a great New Year's Eve, and don't drink and drive. Peace.